Hey guys, Jengar here. Welcome to today's realistic review in which we are taking a look at the British Buccaneer 9.3 battle rating and a specialized bomber, absolutely. And you can equip some missiles on her, but this thing is just made to bomb. To flare or not to flare is what I said in the intro. You have a choice. You can either equip a shit ton of bombs, you can equip missiles with bombs, or you can equip flares with bombs, and you have rockets as well, which you can choose from. I went for the full bomb option. No flares, no missiles, just shit ton of ordnance in the bomb department. And that worked very well for me. Base bombing is what gets you the most research points these days. But you can also go after columns in this thing. It's an amazing bomb load this thing can run with. 16 1000 pounders is absolutely brilliant. The plane also has a radar equipped, but it is not fully implemented apparently at this moment. We tried out some of the functionality, but it wasn't working. And well, without missiles and other stuff like that, it's not really useful as well the way we ran it with the 16 1000 pounders. But there's quite a few options in this plane. Now, in my test flights for the data on this plane, you cannot fly it clean. Minimum you can run it with is 2 air-to-air missiles, but I thought I might as well run it with the full bomb load that I played with, so you get an idea of what the plane can do when you're running it with full ordnance, basically. So the maximum speed in this plane, which doesn't have an afterburner, so you don't have afterburner power in this plane. Maximum speed of this plane in a straight line at sea level is 1117 kilometers an hour. At 4500 meters still go up to 857, and at 6500 meters this is 748. Now these speeds are decent at sea level. Actually good in a straight line. You can actually run away from quite a few planes at your own battle rating and below. In the higher rankings, of course, this is not gonna go up, this is not gonna fly, you're gonna be caught up with by enemy planes. And of course you still have the missiles to deal with. Now you can choose for the flares, which gives you a little bit of an option, but still, using the flares and flying in a straight line and not moving is not a thing. So you gotta move, and when you move, this plane loses a lot of speed as well. And the acceleration, especially when you do still have some bombs equipped, is not fantastic. So yeah, in the speed department is it's touch and go when it comes to that. The top speed in a dive is 1122 before she redlines. And the rip speed is fluid. What do I mean with that? In a dive, depending on the angle you have, this plane can rip between 850 and 1000 already. That is no problem in a dive, especially when you move a bit to rip it off, but also just in a straight line diving, you just lose wings. So this plane is not very reliable in a dive, and it is very touch and go. In a steep dive, the more level you go, the less steep your dive is, the more reliable it gets in the survivability, in the wing snappability, let's say that. So be aware of that. Don't put this thing in a steep dive. In a straight line, the wings are already vibrating when it comes close to the top speed, and I mean violently vibrating. And it's not stable in steep dives. Control stiffening in the plane, you get a little bit of a tick at 800, and as I said, when you roll, the wings will can already rip at 850. So, you know, when you're fast, when you pull high G's, you will rip some wingtips off here. So very careful with that. But this is difficult, man. It's such a difficult plane to fly when it comes to that, because you get a lot of tails. People on your 6 that are gonna shoot missiles at you. You're gonna have to move, you're gonna have to push your speed, you're gonna have to do both, so be very careful on the G's that you pull, and try to find that sweet spot where she can move a little bit and roll out of danger, basically. Stall speed in the plane is 130, which is actually quite good. especially when you consider that is with the bomb load of 16,000 pounds. That is quite amazing, actually. The firepower is non-existent. Well, you can actually choose to equip 9Bs, but 9Bs, as you know, are not fantastic missiles, and you do pay a price there for the ordnance, the ground-pounding ordnance that you're gonna lose, because you're gonna you're gonna use 2 pylons for those 2 missiles. So yeah, you're gonna lose a lot of bomb loads. So I wouldn't do that. It is aim 9Bs are not gonna guarantee you a kill air to air. So you're better off with the bombs. At least that's the conclusion I made. This might be personal. Ammo load, the bomb loads are great. You really 24 500 pounders, 16 1,000 pounders, shit ton of rockets you can equip. So you have rockets, you have bombs, you have flares, you have missiles, you have combos between all of those. You can equip this plane as you want to, and there's a lot of freedom in that, and that is awesome. Really, really great plane when it comes to ground pounding. I think in tank RB, ground RB, tank RB, in air RB. Oh man, I can't speak anymore. In ground RB, I think this plane can fill a fantastic role as well. Acceleration in a straight line is below average, especially with this bomb load. It is very slow to get up to speed. In a dive, it's actually good, because after an initial slow acceleration, this plane starts to wind up, and with the extra bomb load in a dive, it can be good up to a certain point, because you're gonna rip wing tips at a certain point, right? So shallow that dive out once you have some speed, and you will not rip. Energy retention in the horizontal is excellent. She really holds the speed well, this plane. That is amazing in a straight line. In the vertical, it's no more than average. But that is already notable when it comes to full bomb load, right? Because I tested this in a full bomb load, as I didn't have an option to fly it out clean. I decided to do that. The climb rate is decent with this bomb load, and I would assume with the other bomb loads as well. It could actually be good to very good when it's empty. Turn time in the plane is really atrocious to bad with this bomb load, and it might be average without anything, or with just 2 missiles. But you don't want to fly this plane with just missiles, right? That's craziness. Flaps rip off at 620, which is already quite early. Nothing spectacular in the flap compartment there. Be careful when you rip them, because this plane it doesn't handle that well. It really destabilizes this plane, and you might very well crash into the ground, and because you will be low to the ground like this most of the time. Anyway, maneuverability in the plane, with a decent roll rate and atrocious to bad turn time, is below average. When she's empty, it's a little better. It might be above average, slightly, but yeah, you're running her with bombs all the time, so you're gonna be in this situation where you're gonna have to defend yourself with full bomb loads a lot. Trust me. These matches that I showed you are the matches where I survived, and I had some clean runs, and I could show you what this plane can do with her bombs. But there's many times where you already get caught up on the way to a base, for example, and you're gonna have to defend yourself with defensive maneuvers and with throwing some bombs, trying to explode some planes. Maxi here, my teammate here that passes me here, he managed that a few times. I didn't record it, goddammit, I already pressed off the record button, but oh well. Durability in the plane is good. It can take quite a bit of damage, so that's alright. It just doesn't take those flaps very well. Destabilizes the plane. Well, this plane is an excellent base bomber and can also do some fantastic close air support. Roll, it fills it in quite nicely. You do have a lot of options there to find the exact niche that you want to take. Attack a column, use it in ground RB as a close air support, or a base bomber, which nets you a lot of rewards these days. By the way, I had a match that first match where I had almost twice as many points as Maxi, but Maxi had just attacked bases and I had attacked some ground targets, and he had almost twice as many research points as I did. So bases are very well rewarded these days, to I think to entice the the bomber use, basically, to give them some rewards for the pain. But anyway, guys, this is an excellent bomber, and if they fix the radar a little bit, it should be useful. But all in all, it is also a touchy plane. It has a mind of its own, and it really sometimes shows her bad sides. With the wing rips, the dive compression, which doesn't work well on the wings, where you can snap your wings off already, wingtips off at 850-ish, 1000. Between those numbers, you can at any time in a dive lose your wings if you're too steep. And you got to be really careful when rolling at top speeds. Heavy G's, he doesn't pull that well. You will also lose your wings. So yeah. And the choices between the flares, the bomb loads, the missiles, what do you want to take? Do you want some defensibility with 2 AIM-9Bs? Do you want the full bomb loads? Would you like some flares there for the survivability? You lose almost half of your bomb loads with those choices. It's, yeah, you know, there's something for everyone, and we all will make different choices probably. Let's look at the reward screen for that first match there. 16 ground targets, 36,000 Silver Lions, and almost 7,000 research points. That was actually quite disappointing. With a base and a half hit, something on the airfield, and 16 ground targets. Well, I wasn't happy with that score. Anyway, I'll see you in the conclusion. Hey guys, so here we are after the match. Now the Buccaneer is a true and full bomber without too many options when it comes to attack. It has no guns. It has AIM-9Bs, which are, well, a little bit on the sad side at a 9.3 battle rating. You want J's, or you want at least E's, right? Something with some more G pooling on the missile department. Then it would be viable to choose them. But if you're going for a close air support role, a bombing role, in this plane you want as much ordnance as you can. And if you take 2 9 AIM-Bs, or you take the flares, you're gonna use 2 pylons for that. And it loses you, well, it's not quite half, but it's more than a third of your bomb load, your ordnance. And yeah, it's just it's a big sacrifice for 2 AIM-9Bs or for the flares. And you can take quite a few flares with you, but I noticed in the first few games that I played that it didn't really help me survive anyway. It just made the enemy spend a few more missiles, but I got that missile in the ass eventually anyway, and I lost a lot of bombs, and I lost a lot of rewards. So in the end, I just decided for this pure 16 1,000-pound bomb loads, and I noticed that it gave me the most rewards. Now I didn't run around with the rockets and stuff like that. You can try that in columns. It might give you even better results. Who knows? If you're specialized in that, but I quite liked this loadout. Anyway, guys, the Buccaneer is definitely, if you like bombers, you should fly the Buccaneer. It's an awesome experience. It looks great. It's very unique, and you can have quite a bit of fun in it. But you will also have difficult moments for all the reasons that I mentioned. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button, become part of this community. If you are already a subscriber, don't forget to like the video, do leave me a comment, and if you really feel like helping out today, make sure to share the video with your friends and let them know about the channel.